This podcast contains adults using adult language. You have been warned. Come on back.
Come on back. We're back.
My name is Mud.
My name
Alrighty.
is Mud.
My name is Meat.
No, my
No,
name
Meat.
is Meat.
My name is
I'm
Meat.
Miss Mate.
Hello.
Bertram.
Bertram.
Uh,
And if you're wondering what we're talking about, check out our archives on YouTube. Fame by Torchlight. The mystery that both Clues nor Viking Goat can ever solve.
to be fair, they have a good idea of who did it. Now it's just a matter of, you
Getting
know,
off their asses and doing it.
Yes.
and getting their close rate up. You know,
But we, union rules say we get a break, and we're taking a break.
So thank you, folks, for returning and watching and continuing to watch.
Mhm.
So where we had left off,
Or if this is your first episode, you're gonna be really confused.
where if you're stepping in now, I mean, listen, you
Go
can
back a little
try,
bit.
but there's you need to go back and you can go back onto YouTube and you can watch all of our old episodes. So
Fan Club podcast.
or you can exactly. Yeah, listen, if you commute, you can download the podcast and do that. Anywho, so where we had left off, the Thunuk was using the tracer arrow to track who the Shadow Archer was, and had gotten an alert from it that the rangefinder had indicated that someone nearby was the person in question. Dren had seen someone new talking with the Lord Kai's retinue, who is waiting outside of the Silvered Harrier, and Thunuk had gone out to investigate. Upon which he was seized by an unearthly dread that touched his very soul and compelled him to take a step backwards. There's just a feeling that washed over you of something very, very unnatural. Thunuk, I think you would be probably very sensitive to something like that, being as in touch with the natural world as you are, if something were not right about it, that would probably affect you deeply. And this is
like a sad Thunuk. Sucks.
No one likes sad Thunuk.
I'm kind of curious though. He's so taken aback. Does he drop his cinnamon roll?
That is a
Should
good
I roll
question.
for that?
I don't know. What would you roll to see? Do I
Just
hold on?
don't like
Deck
not
save. Deck
either
save.
that
Save.
or
Yeah,
you
okay.
literally just do odds or keep evens drop.
I kind of.
I like both of them. It's up to you.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
do a D6 odds or evens. Odds are that you hold on to the cinnamon roll. Evens are you've dropped the cinnamon roll in terror.
That is a quick DM. DMs need a D6. They have 3 sides that say yes and 3 sides that say no.
Yeah.
Because that just gets them out of so many freaking.
That was a successful holding of the cinnamon roll.
Yes.
However, the cinnamon roll is a little more squished than it was a second ago,
That's reasonable.
but not dirty.
Okay. I
And
don't
even
think
then-
Thunuk would care about that though.
5-second roll,
Yeah.
right? Like, oh my god! Oh, hang on! Oh my god!
Oh shit! Oh no! Okay, I have it. I can be scared again.
Drops it on a little stuff like it's just dirt. There's nothing wrong with eating a little dirt.
Just
It
clean it
adds
off.
extra
Ask
texture.
Hugon and his coffee.
Exactly.
Yep.
So yeah, so you have this feeling wash over you. So you almost drop your cinnamon roll, but do not actually drop your cinnamon roll. You have the wherewithal to hold on to it. Maybe a bit too tightly. tighter than
Cinnamon.
most.
It's important.
And it's still a little warm. You know, I mean, it's like at its peak cinnamoniness.
Synonymity?
Yeah, yes.
Synonymity.
Cinnamon. So
Cinenormity.
Cinenormity.
Synonym?
Anyway,
Cinemosity?
We had completely derailed this whole, like, it's taken us an hour and a half and we haven't even gotten through the fucking conversation.
whose fault is that? I wonder.
Everyone's. There's
I don't know what
plenty
you're
of
talking
blame to go around.
Look, we can be talking about cinnamon puns all we like, but don't assign blame on this one.
We gotta keep it on a roll.
Let's just glaze over it.
I'm so glad we haven't been trying to keep track of these puns.
I am not sugarcoating this in any way.
Duh! From now on, new community, stream of puns.
God.
Stream of puns. Instead of like, yeah.
We've just got
It
to
would
get
all
our
be
just
puns.
desserts.
It could be our pungent.
Oh God.
Anyway, let's
Pungents
get on
and
with the plot.
dragons.
Let's get on the plot
Okay, fine.
before Kid quits the stream.
Let's quit the stream.
He loves it and he knows it.
No.
Yes.
No.
Well, hang on. Okay, so real quick. All in favor that Blind Cleric actually likes this? Aye.
Likes what?
Hey, all in favor. We're going to take a vote here.
Trying to force a vote to make.
Yeah, I'm forcing a vote. Who all thinks that he actually likes it?
Sure, why not?
I. Yeah.
All
3
opposed?
versus 2. Only one abstain.
Abstain?
You're just jamming this in.
You should watch Team X every week for all of your pun needs. Anywho, so you take a step back into the doorway. Like you just feel like this force of dread just hit you and back you up. But you do see all the people out front there, and while they all kind of like, you know, door opens, large figure, you know, walks outside. They're all going to turn and look. None of them seem to have any kind of shock. You know, none of them's like, "Oh my God," you know. But you know, they all see you walk out, and then they see you take that step back, and the younger of the two men in the plate mail kind of gets like a bit of a smirk when he sees you take the step back.
Can I identify what has caused me to feel this way? Was it the individual in the brown, or was it one of the people?
Really good question. Let me think. What kind of check do we think that would be? So that would probably fall under some kind of
Arcana or insight.
check for me.
Or perception.
It would depend on what's causing it.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think.
If it's a magical ability, it would be Arcana. If it's just a general feeling, it would be Insight. Maybe.
I would.
Well, for Sanook, I think he would go Insight just because.
Yeah.
Be like, why do I feel sad? Like he would kind of internalize it.
Yeah, I would say that's an insight check. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, 13.
So you get the so when you walked out the door, there's tables on both sides. Okay. The one in the plate armor that's older, that has the white hair and like the crow's crop white beard, is sitting off to your left by himself. To the right, that's where the other plate mailed plate armored person man is sitting over there, the one that smirked at you. That's also where the one that's the not a Firbolg, you know, in the handsome man, but not by Firbolg standards, is over there. The two females, the two women, are kind of off to this further off to your right. You can't pinpoint it, but it is feeling like it's more from the left-hand side, so not from where the arrow. Well, I don't know if you do. Would you have the arrow out in front of you?
I think the arrow would be secret upon my person. I don't think I'd like walk outside with it like sim and roll in one hand, arrow in the other. I mean, that might make sense in some cases, but not in this one. So it'd probably be
not how the arrow worked. I thought the arrow just gave the person a feeling of the direction they should be turning.
Well, no, the arrow itself is always going to orient itself pointed towards the person. So it's like, so as Dren was carrying it last time, she was actually kind of, it was almost like on a magnet, like where if you were to like sweep it back and forth, you would feel where it wants to pull.
It's a compass that points toward bastards.
It's like water wicking.
It's a bastard
compass. Yeah, exactly. It's almost like a water dousing
asshole.
thing. Yeah, it's water dousing, except it's asshole dousing.
So if I had it like up my sleeve, I could feel it sort of tugging in one direction or the other.
Exactly. If you were to like sweep your hand, you'd be able to feel where it was pulling.
Okay.
But you feel this if you had to come up with some kind of source of this dread, it is more from the older bemailed person on your left.
Are there more tables in his direction than there are in the other direction?
It's probably about the same number of tables on either side.
Okay. But it sounds less crowded in that direction, so Thunic would sit in that area.
Near where the dread is coming from?
Yeah, but at the same time, he's like dread bad.
Judge Dredd.
So you're looking to move. If you're looking to move, I think we would need to do another wisdom saving throw to see if you could force yourself to walk towards where you want to go.
Out of habit, he'd sit where there are fewer people.
Okay.
Just to give people room. So he'd probably initially want to go in that direction.
So
let's do
there are
another
tables
wisdom saving.
outside the Silver Harrier?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
near Groomshooms, right?
Well, there's like kind of like a spread. If
Okay, I understand.
Is 4 on the map, so that's kind of like around the corner.
I understand.
Yeah. So let's get another wisdom saving throw from you.
Ooh, that was much better. 22.
Yeah. So you feel, so the dread is kind of like it hits you like a wave and it pushes you back, and then it's like so when you're in the ocean and it's like that first wave gets you and it shoves you back, it's like you're almost able to then after that orient yourself to, okay, this is what the wave feels like, this is what the currents feel like, and when the next one comes, you're able to sort of orient yourself to let that wave pass by you. That's what this feels like now. You're able to take a step forward. The dread, you are able to still sense it, much like you would still know that you're in the ocean, that you're still being surrounded by water, that there's currents moving around you and trying to push you back. But now you've been able to orient yourself in such a way as to allow it to just sort of flow around you and over you without it stopping and impeding your progress forward now.
Okay.
So you're still aware of this dread around you, but it's no longer affecting you in that visceral way. It's much like, okay, it's windy out. I know that it's windy out, and I know how to continue walking forward. Except, in an emotional way.
Right.
And then as you move to where there's fewer people, the older one is like keeping an eye on you. The younger one that smirked at you now has a bit of a look of shock on his face.
Okay.
As like at first he saw you take this step back and was kind of like, like one of those, and then you took the step back, you're like, and you just walked forward, and he was just kind of like, not like it wasn't like full agog, it wasn't like one of those, but it was like
that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was.
I picture that Thanook is like used to people giving him odd expressions, so it'd probably be like, okay,
yeah,
whatever.
Yes, Thunuk is going to sit down and he's going to look at this guy. He's like, there's more cinnamon rolls inside. And then he's going to sort of like feel where the arrow is pointing. Because he's sort of like turning around, getting himself situated, letting the arrow like wiggle in the sleeve to point in directions.
I gotcha. So when you're able to, as you like do that, you're able to, the arrow centers on the ugly Firbolg handsome human.
Okay.
That's who it centers on.
Okay. Trying to figure out how to.
And remember, you guys still have your retcon coins that you can change in to.
Yeah, I'm saving those for when we fight this thing. I'm just saying, just as a reminder, because. So I'd like to use a retcon coin to make sure that this thing breaks both of its arms, both of its legs, and its knees.
We're gonna go that far back in time.
I'm gonna go back in time to when it was born.
I'd like to go back and exterminate its grandparents from reality.
Oh.
It just starts to vanish away.
The butterfly effect on that one.
I would point out that these coins that you've had me use in the overlay are in fact the seal of Rassilon. Which, if you don't know what that is, it is the seal of the High Council of the Time Lords.
I thought it was specifically of Rassilon himself.
Yes, but he was the first president of the High Council of the Time Lords.
Yeah.
And after Rassilon died, it was table talk.
Yeah.
It was table talk. Tune in later.
I will say the retcon has to be within reason.
It's not what you said earlier.
You can't TARDIS yourself back to the.
Dren can build a TARDIS?
No.
She was gonna try now.
Oh God! Oh dear God! What have I done?
Yeah, right.
Exactly what you meant to. Let's be honest.
Thunuk is going to. All right, let's retcon this then. I'm going to spend one of these coins.
Okay.
Thunuk, or Corbin rather, since he's the smarter of the two, will have told Thunuk on the way out that he should describe who the arrow is pointing at when they arrive to Drenmai, and she'll be the go-between through the communicator thing. And he should describe his cinnamon roll in order to describe this, like he's using the cinnamon roll as an excuse to describe this person.
That is amazing.
I like it.
So good and hooded.
So you're sort of gonna non-surreptitiously like tune into Dren's channel?
Well, I think he would have done it before going out.
Okay.
That therein lies the coin usage. Is like this conversation
just had it on broadcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, it's not even on broadcast. He's just going to sit down, and he's going to act like, oh, I forgot to tell some. And he's like, he hits the button. He's like, the cinnamon rolls are very tasty and brown, and you should come over and have some. They're very fresh, and they have these nice. You described him as being sun bleached and curly haired.
Yeah.
Okay, so
toasted nuts on top.
They have these nice golden swirls. They're very tasty. You should come have some before they're all out. And then he's going to keep pushing the button over and over again, thinking, do I have to do something to make it not work anymore?
So all I keep hearing on my end.
Yeah, there's a little squelch.
He's actually pushing it with the cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
And then it gets stuck down a little bit. No.
It's like, no, wait. Don't want to waste the frosting.
And it is definitely on when you.
God.
I'm gonna be looking at my thing.
What a disaster.
Look outside. Look at my wrist. I'm sorry. We have a random announcement now.
Oh, okay.
The first tooth has been lost.
Hey!
Child, come here.
The
Come here,
first
here.
tooth. This is his first one ever.
Wow.
First one ever.
That's
This
is-
six.
Oh, look at that!
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
That's
Can
a
I
good
roll
one.
Can I roll to make him lose
He
more?
comes over.
I got a natural 20.
No.
Wah, wah, wah,
All
wah.
the teeth are now gone.
Let's be honest, that's probably how Corbin lost his baby teeth. Did I just say that out loud?
Congratulations, proto-human.
Yes, you did. Proto-human just lost the first tooth.
Good for him. Good for him.
Now I gotta save it. Okay, derail.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, you got to make a die out of that.
Oh,
His
it's already
first
been thought of.
D20.
It's already been thought of. Don't worry.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Find out who the fucking Shadow Archer is, please. It's been
Yes,
3
so-
goddamn episodes.
So anyway, so okay, so Thunuk has described the the person that the arrow is pointing to, and now is trying to lick his gauntlet clean, his bracer
And
clean.
all I hear is bleh, 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 coming across my intercom.
Well, I mean, after the description's been given, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're retconning that we established cinnamon code.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's a yeah.
Am I telling you that you should come get a cinnamon roll means that I think
Kick
you said
this
this guy
guy's
was
ass.
about to go inside?
No, he was just
So-
outside. He was just outside talking to the other folks in the retinue.
Okay.
I don't. Let's see. I don't know if I would just like go busting out. I think because I don't. If I don't see anyone else coming out, I kind of want to go as more of like a backup to Thanuk. Now that I see like I probably already had like, well, that's kind of a weird dude. I'm gonna keep my eye on him. So I think I'll go out like the back of my shop and just kind of make my way around
Mm-hmm.
to try and get maybe like to the side of the building and wait to see like Hugon and Corbin come out.
Too.
Hang on, sorry. We just
He just saw how to tell me that he spit it out. So
Pa-ting. Okay, so you're
don't follow it. So yeah, I want to go kind of like I want to be on Thanuk's side of the building,
mm-hmm.
but be like around the corner, and I'm gonna wait for Corbin and Hugon to come out, so that way I don't know if we can retcon this part or whatever, but I'm assuming that we had some kind of plan that we're either gonna trap him or catch him or do something. So I'm gonna go to the side on Thanuk's side and
Okay.
wait for Hugon and Corbin.
Don't forget, you were planning on using Razi as a communications device for everyone inside.
Yeah, I'll since Razi's currently mad at Hugon, I'll probably have Razi go let Corbin know. So even though he can't, well, no, Corbin, I don't remember. Corbin had something
No,
to
but-
talk to Razi at one point.
If I cast Speak with Animals.
Okay, well, he'll probably, since you let me know to use Razi, he's just gonna fly down to you and kind of just land on the shoulder and give like the little and point towards the front door. Like, okay, come on, tug on the beard maybe a little bit.
Okay.
Little playful nip on the ear.
Yeah, go this way. Come on. Nah.
Walkies. Time for walkies.
So I'll turn around at that point to the table and be like, gentlemen, we've been held in negotiations this morning. It seems we are in a stalemate while Mr. Tomasi is very interested in working alongside Acquisitions Incorporated, it would seem that Zerum K is blocking said transaction. We can only report this back to our head office and maybe continue these negotiations on another day.
And Hugon has not moved, has barely blinked, and is just like sitting at the table waiting for like the go signal that he thinks is coming.
Okay.
Very like not tense, but like what you said, like when a wolf is relaxed.
Mm-hmm. And Lord Kai says, "Well, I would say thank you, gentlemen, but that would imply that I got anything out of this
Out of interest,
ridiculous
Lord
exercise."
Kay, out of interest, given all the problems that are going on in the Chondlewood right now, how are you planning to ship your things from El Boulder to here? Because I mean,
And he just smiles.
I mean, if we're needing to take advantage of that, and you are obviously a businessman, we could always make a partnership with you.
I hardly think so.
Why not?
When you file your reports with Elman, make sure you spell my name correctly.
Okay, that's not an answer.
Sadly, it is all the answer I intend to give.
Right.
And the smile never leaves his face. And it's a smile.
Bonus action to smack him.
So, and the smile like never touches his eyes. It's just this smarmy, like.
Just out of interest, will Omen even know if I spell your name wrong? He may never have heard of you. Because I hadn't before I came here.
Hang on. I got to.
Roll to see if he loses his cool.
No, I got to see what the burn damage is on that.
I could use vicious mockery if you like.
No, let's not. Well,
No,
I want
but
to
that
attack
was-
him, but let's not.
That was nice. And there is a dark flicker across his eyes. The smile doesn't waver. The smile that he has plastered on his face doesn't waver, but you can see that there was like the
That hit.
twitch.
Oh,
That
and
That one, that hit.
while we're talking about Elbalder, how do you deal with Duke Amasis? Isn't that his purview area?
My goodness, Corbin, I think that you're right.
Because if you're doing business in another noble's land, you obviously pay the Duke, right?
Out of character, would Lord Amasis outrank Kai? Or are they sort of
I
peers?
thought it was Duke Amasis.
Yeah,
If it's
Duke.
Duke Amasis, I apologize. I must have missed
No. Yeah, it's Duke, but I think it's more because they're not under a single kingdom. It is more of like they would be peers, but one's going to give himself one title, one's going to give themselves,
So I mean, if you're operating in Elbalder without the Dukes knowing, and you're laying claim to Pinedale, even though it's a free colony, I'm trying to understand how I should file this. Since you seem to know so much about Omendran.
file it under futures.
I can certainly file it under F.
And but again, this
gentlemen,
self.
Now, gentlemen, if you'll just, and he turns the minutes of the meeting around and slides it across the table. If you just sign here, please, to note that you are part of this meeting.
And Lord Kai gives just kind of gives like a hand signal, like kind of like a, like one of those to Tomasi, and Tomasi goes and signs, dates,
And then I slide
princes
it,
and
then I
names.
slide it in front of Lord Kai. Since you are the one that is blocking the transfer of funds and relationship between ourselves and Mr. Tomasi, I am going to need your signature to say that you attended the meeting, sir. It's just business. It's paperwork.
And he gives you like this long look, like he's trying to make it look like it's his choice to sign this
when he
document.
does that, I'm literally just gonna go. And stare
Oh
right
my
back.
God.
Stare right back.
And when he feels that enough time has passed where it's now his decision as opposed to any requirement of the proceedings, if there's a way to arrogantly pick up a pen,
He found it.
quill, this is how, and just signs it and throws the quill down. It was not respectful to the quill, the way that he put this quill down. It was not at all respectful
It might
to
make
the.
Corbin
That might be
angry.
that's like the shitty quill though.
Yeah.
That's like documents are
Corbin,
shade.
Corbin was well aware that he's gonna have to burn this quill later.
Yeah.
So
Zedram Kai doesn't know, but he got the worst quill.
oh yeah.
He got the worst of the quills.
It's like that brooch.
Dude.
It's like the brooch shade that the Queen threw Trump.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
Oh yeah. This is like,
This is
dude,
a,
you
this
don't
is
even
a,
want to know. You don't want to know where this pen was.
This is a feather off a turkey's ass.
And not even like one of the good ones. Like not even one of the cool ones. Like down by like the butthole. Like that one.
It's a butthole feather.
The butthole.
Like this one probably has turkey poop on it still.
Aw.
I have a really
Like they had to pay me to take this quill. It was a great deal.
I'm
Totally
so
worth it.
grossed
And so I'm not going to make you take a retcon coin for this, but this could have been the one that you knew, maybe, that you switched out surreptitiously without him noticing, and might have just had a little bit of turkey poop on it. But only you knew. It was like the mall rat stink palm.
I am so tempted to spend a retcon coin here.
I'm imagining it's a scenario like from like Mallrats when he stink
yeah.
palmed the guy.
Man, these exquisite.
I hope to come loudly someday, hopefully in a 69. Huh?
Tell me about the thing's dork. Is it made of orange rock like the rest of his body? Can you bang Lois Lane or does he need a kryptonite condom?
Oh,
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
yeah, it has.
I literally have a 37 tattooed on my arm.
Nice.
Like,
Nice.
how tempted am I to spend a retcon coin here? Alright, question for the rest of the group. How much of a dick am I right now?
I mean, I
He
fucking
just
hate this guy.
disrespected a pen.
No, but I mean like complete dick.
I'd say do it. This
I
is,
don't think.
Hugo would find this deeply amusing, so I vote yay.
Well,
I
actually, go ahead. Go ahead.
I suspect from Corbin's reaction to Tomasi being his family being threatened by this dude, he's deep in the red right now.
So I would like to spend a retcon coin.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Not only is
So
all of this
what
going
you're
on-
trying to say is he's a mushroom cloud laying motherfucker.
No. Oh, this is even better. So I seem to remember encountering secret paper where you can peel the top off And it has
Yes.
another message underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I would like to have had a piece of that set up,
Ooh.
right?
This is choice
Did you
espionage. Choice espionage.
So
did
what
you
the
just dox his signature?
what the Duke just signed is a confession that he is the one that unleashed the mean locks upon the town, and that he is responsible for what happened to Linnell Swift and the deaths of several guards.
Oh man,
He
I
is
love
also
it.
responsible for the disappearance of the watch.
And the spell plague and
No.
everything
giant
that's ever
spider.
happened.
But because there is an
The
evidence
missing
trail,
giant friend.
Yeah.
because there is an evidence trail leading
Yeah.
from one thing to the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is an evidence trail. And the three things Corbin has wanted to do is prove Dren's friend innocent,
Mm-hmm.
gain leverage over the Duke,
Yeah.
and be kind of an asshole to this guy.
Oh, that is dastardly, and I love that.
And it is exactly what a documancer would do.
Yes, I had never thought of that use of that paper. Oh, I love it. I love it. You just, dude, that's like that. You just pulled a Heather's on this guy.
I forgot about that.
Remember when Christian Slater had him all sign the petition, but nope, that's not what you signed. You signed the group suicide note. Oh, I love it. So he's now unwittingly, and I'm guessing that the so there's
And
still the signatures. The signatures are still count for the minutes, but the other guy's signature did not transfer. Just that
it
one.
implicates his entire retinue as accomplices.
This is like he's got to call some Johnny Cochran shit. This is like
Better Call Saul.
better. Yeah, no, I don't. I think this is beyond Saul's preview, man. I think. Yeah, this is like. I think even like Oh yeah, I think Romo Lampkin says don't take the case counselor. I think he's gonna.
And as we all know, everything that a documancer does, a copy of it shows up at head office.
Yes.
So there's now 2 copies of this confession in the world. So even if I lose my copy, there's a copy somewhere else.
Oh yeah. It's like the equivalent of like the e-signature, right? Where because of the way they have it set up, you're allowed to sign for things electronically now, or like check off the box and it counts as legal.
I'll lean back, I'll lean back and just scribble in my book the part that goes to the secretarian. Did you receive that?
And so it scrolls back, stand by, and then there's like a beat.
There's like the 3 dots that appear.
Yeah.
I mean,
the secretarian is writing.
A windmill draw. There's a windmill that keeps getting drawn. And then it says documents received. Proceed at will, but with caution.
Okay. In that case, Corbin will write back, not filing yet, ... just in case, ... the old rule 34. Not 34.
61.
6.
Okay.
Blackmail is now rule number 6.
Blackmail, hang on.
Documentary rule number 6. Blackmail.
Documentary rule number 6. Blackmail.
I feel like there needs,
as long as you file the appropriate paperwork.
I feel like there needs to be a rules of acquisition for acquisitions incorporated.
Oh, dude.
And the rules should actually be called. Well,
I'm totally gonna mention though that they need to have the rules, and number 6 has to be blackmail.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is I think Jerry and Kate, or not Kate, Amy,
Alyssa.
Yeah, they all need to. Anyway. Okay, this is. And it says, so the secretarian writes back and says, understood. When available, signatures required for Documancy level 2. So,
Like it.
because I'm sorry, dude, that is some level 2 Documancy shit right there. I like it. I like it.
So good. That's so good.
Anyway, so we have the and I'm assuming you have not shown this, that he has no clue other than him having signed the minutes of this meeting.
Yeah. Oh no. He doesn't get to know.
The other members of the group don't know.
This was done.
This is a deep con.
This is yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, sometimes you got to hold some operational details, close to the chest. You gotta insulate people, right? So, all right. So he's signed, and he's got this very self-satisfied grin on his face. From the whole proceedings today. Razi's still nipping at your ear.
I'll stand up and
Pulling the beard.
I'll stand
Mhm.
up and shake Mr. Tomasi's hand.
Mhm.
Say, Mr. Tomasi, if you ever change your mind, or feel free to contact us. We'll be hereabouts. And good day, gentlemen.
And obviously, Tomasi stood up to shake your hand. Lord Kai obviously
did not.
I'll still offer the Lord a bow.
Mhm.
Like I'm not going to be rude about this.
Mhm.
Yeah, I will absolutely bow to both of them.
Mhm.
Because
Okay.
again, this has just seemed like a normal writing transaction. Nothing has seemed
And I'm
at
gonna
all.
head outside.
Okay.
I'll probably follow him.
So, again, when you walk, for both of you, when you walk out, if you can make that wisdom saving throw for me.
Sure. I need to see what my wisdom saving throw is.
Boy, oh
It's
boy,
trash.
Oh boy. I just knocked everything on the floor.
I can't even.
Fuck this game!
You failed your dex save.
19.
Okay, 19. And Hugon.
Uh,
Who dat? Hugon.
God damn it, Brian.
Go where?
15, please.
15. So both of you, when you walk outside, you feel this wave of dread hit you full on in the chest. So it's kind of like, so that feeling you had probably at some point in the past when you've been dating someone and they say, we need to talk. And there is nothing that is going to be said after that is going to be the least bit good. That's the feeling that you feel in your chest, but it like has this moment of where it tries to grip and then washes past. So it never fully, so you're aware that there was some form of like dread that kind of like that. Yeah. Or even if you've had like that moment, momentary, it almost feels like a panic attack where like you remember, oh crap, I forgot something, but it only sticks around for that briefest of moments to remind you that, oh, that's what that feels like.
I've been through it with the best of them. I said I've been through it with the best of them.
Yeah, but again, it hits, and both of you, and you could probably attribute this again to both of you. You both have a very similar background, if you think about it, in terms of your monk training, or you've been trained to school your emotions and your attention specifically for moments of great tension that require you to act quickly. So this wave hits you and it just rolls past. You almost shrug it off like, you know what? I've seen worse. I've felt worse. You ain't got nothing on me.
I'd like to go over to the retinue.
Mm-hmm.
And just introduce get to know them. Like, I'd like to introduce myself.
Okay.
I've got to back Corbin up because these guys look like pretty hardened killers.
They so the two in the plate. Absolutely, these are Hugon. You are recognizing studied warriors, just with their posture. I keep on coming back to leverage, where everything is. They have a very specific way they sit.
Yeah.
How'd you know they CIA? They have a very specific way of standing.
This is the first time I've encountered these two, right?
Yes.
This isn't the same. This isn't Kai's tough that was around the first time.
Well, no, they were in the retinue when they arrived, but that guy you actually see standing off to the side.
Okay.
You do see him standing off to the side. The one that was like really quick to yell and everything. Yeah, he's this heavily muscled.
Now, do these look like house guard, or are these employed?
No. What do you mean by? Okay, so what do you mean by the difference? How do you see the difference?
Full plate is a custom-made, custom-fitted object that requires months of creation.
Oh yeah, this is well-made armor.
You're right, and my point is like, are these from a group that has that sort of capability, or are these Kai's personal people? Do I recognize any emblems, any symbolism?
No, there's no sigils or symbols or anything like that would indicate a member of a house one way or the other. It's just that you can tell that this is very well made armor.
Right, and it's full plate. So
yeah, exactly. But it looks like in a way that this is heavy armor.
Right.
But this the way you can see, again, your schooling has told you, or your experience tells you that this armor is probably would not impede their movement. This is
Absolutely.
like this would not slow them down. This is, you have to train to use this armor. But again, then you have the two females that are out there. Again, both like leather armor, similar design to each other. And give me everybody give me a perception check.
Sure. Oh, there goes a die. Oh shit. 18.
18.
18.
18.
8.
8.
8.
15.
I'm sorry, what was that, Corbin?
15.
15.
Rolled a 10.
A dirty tan. But you would you two everyone but Phonic, you would actually recognize, you would swear that the older one in plate and one of the women you would say are likely related. There's just very similar facial features. Definitely an age gap there. But, and then you would say that the big heavy, the tattooed one, and the other female, you would also you'd put them closer in age, but again, you would also put them as potentially related to each other.
Okay.
Again, just it's one of those things that you see when you see the similar facial features, the cheekbones, the chin.
Right,
You can
so-
see there's some familial.
Let's start off by getting races on these people.
All human.
They're all human. Okay.
All human.
Hugon's favorite people.
I don't know. They seem like assholes. I don't know if they're my favorite.
But they're human.
Human. Humans.
Alright, so
Human. Hugon.
I'm gonna walk over
Hugon to
to,
human.
I'm gonna walk over to the gathering that is it's the ugly furbolg handsome human guy,
Okay.
though it's one of the women and both of the plate people, I think. You said it.
So okay, so when you walk out, you've got the older one in plate on the left.
Okay.
On the right, you've got the younger one in plate, plus both of the females, and they're like at a table, like at another table, like a little bit further back, right? And then at the table with the one in plate is also the one that Thunic has identified as being the one that the arrow is saying,
So
that's the guy.
I'm gonna turn and say, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, my apologies for prolonging this situation. But I am going to need all of your names for the records. My name's Corbin Oakenthane. I'm the documenter for our group. I just need
For those of you who are
names for
playing the
everyone.
home game, this is the first time that he has said his full name
Nope.
in character.
That's not the first time.
And character?
Character? No, it's true.
In front of the other players.
Second time. This is the second time.
He told the others.
Third.
The problem
That-
is yes, the problem is we were a bit crushed for time at the end of the last game. So the thing he wanted to finish with the attrition was by telling them his name. He has often said things like the blessings of the Oakenthanes be upon you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but yeah, anyway.
This is hey, listen, I'm trying not to play down. It's an auspicious occasion.
Mm-hmm.
So the younger one in the plate,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, "Oh, Master Oakenthane, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance."
Thank you. Hopefully we can get to know each other a little bit better if these negotiations go well.
Oh, I would desire
Oh,
nothing less.
Are you with Master Tomasi, or are you with his lordship?
Well, we are colleagues of Lord Kai.
Colleagues.
Yes,
Right.
friends, one might say.
Okay.
You can never have too many friends, you understand.
Oh, of course not. Though, assuming they all fit in your house.
Ah, ever a problem.
Right.
But a good one to have. I think we call that a champagne problem.
Yeah, silver linings and all that.
And he offers out his hand, and he introduces. He says, "My name." He goes, "You may call me Petror Arroway."
Petror?
Yeah, I'll spell everything for you guys later. I won't
Alright, cool.
bore the people at home with the D&D spelling bee.
Pleasure to meet you, Petror.
And do you shake his hand back?
So to give you an idea, I've kind of got like a book with
Okay.
parchment and pen, and I'm sort of
So you could kind of be like,
Sorry.
"Oh, I'm really sorry. I'm
like I'll lean over and like bump elbows with him or something.
Well, one of those. So and he's like, "Oh, my apologies." He's like, as for the rest of us, he like nods his head over to the older one that's sitting across from him, and he goes, "That there, that's Rickster Carter." And he nods his head back to the one that looks related, and he goes, "And that there's McCain Carter. There's two over there, the other ones," and he like nods, and he's smiling, and there you go, that's Laura Alyssa Fielderson, and oh, that's her brother over there, Cohan Fielderson. You have to forgive them. They're not from around these parts. They all tend to be a little quiet and keep to themselves.
Where do they look like they're from?
You wouldn't necessarily be able to place a nationality. You would say that Laura Alyssa and Quohand, one of the women and so you'd put Quohand and Laura Alyssa.
I've written down Cool Hand.
Cool Hand.
But
But Quohand, they're both. You would say they're both barely into their 20s, and fair skinned, which you've seen be more typical of people of the North. You really couldn't put any kind of. It's tough to put a nationality towards McCain and Rickster.
they're both heavily inked, though, right?
No, just the guy.
Okay.
Just Quohand, the one, and he's the heavy that you had your conversation with at the
And and then there's one more.
Oh, yes, him. That there.
Just call him.
What is this?
You may call
Crappy
me-
90s band?
That's Douglas.
No, there's literally a band called Him.
Really?
Yeah, there
Huh.
was.
Yes, there is.
He says, "Oh no, I apologize. It's how rude of me for not introducing everyone. I'm sorry. I sometimes forget he's there. That there, and he actually, the one he has not been introduced. He actually does this deep flourished bow. He like as he does that, he like kicks the cloak off to one side as he does it in this deep, well-legged bow.
Mhm.
The queen would be proud of this bow. And he says, "You may call me Davgold Dryadson." But as he bows, he doesn't lose eye contact with you.
Mhm.
Right? His eyes are up, but he deep flourish and he flourishes back, and
He looks like a fencer.
yeah, you could say that. He definitely has there's
There's
an
agility there.
there's a
flexibility.
theatricity, yeah.
Yeah.
And he
Pleasure
introduced
to
but
meet
he
you.
Hmm?
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Dryadson.
and you, Master Oakenthane.
Now, just
Would you happen to be I seem to recall that name from what was it? Waterdeep?
nearby.
Ah. I think I've met other Oakenthanes before.
Say then
The
again,
name sounds
If you
familiar.
listen to Waterdavians, everywhere is near Waterdeep.
True. Very true.
Just and at this point, I fold up the
Mhm.
parchment or whatever. It goes for a group of just random hired bodyguards. You're very color coordinated. Are you a mercenary group or like just all under the friendship of the Duke of the Lord? Sorry.
And Davgold, the one that the arrow had been pointing to, says, "No, not bodyguards. Nothing that crass. I would say that we're more just friends that are in search of a shared vision."
Which is
A better world for everyone.
Assholery Incorporated.
This screams cultist.
Yeah.
oh, because we were just in there negotiating with the Lord about trying to protect the city better, and he didn't seem too interested.
Lord Kai has his ways. I can never really tell where he's coming from, or he could be very mercurial. Like I said, we're merely here as we're his friends. He wanted some traveling companions. He invited us along. We thought, why not? The Chandlewood is lovely this time of year.
Been here before?
I've been known to venture.
Well,
It is a beautiful place.
it was kind of addressing everybody, but
And which one? Patrar is like, there's no. Our travels have taken us around. We've seen many, many wonderful places, and we had the opportunity to come see the Chandlewood again. I personally was very excited to be able to come back to Pinedale because they have the most wonderful ales here that you cannot find anywhere else.
should try the coffee.
Oh my, yes, I had some this morning. It is life altering. It is wonderful. It is a shame that that the Sword Coast has yet to understand how wonderful how wonderful the offerings of this town are. It's a hidden gem, really.
So I've taken literally every word out of all of these people's mouths since the moment I walked through the door as complete shite.
May I? Thonic's been sitting here for the longest time and had that overwhelming sense of dread. May he cast Detect Evil and Good?
Yes.
Ooh,
Remind me what that tells us.
That means you're gonna get to see our alignments.
Yep. For the duration, you know if there's an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you, as well as where the creature is located. Similarly, you know if there is a place or object within 30 feet of you that has been magically consecrated or desecrated.
So it doesn't tell us. It doesn't tell alignment anymore.
Okay.
It just detects creatures.
No. Well, because alignment's so fluid.
Yeah.
But thematically, the way we had played it was people get a sort of a
Crown, halo.
crowny aura.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of thematically around one of those things that they represent.
Okay. So you cast that. And let me see here. So it knows if you have a celestial elemental, an aberration, fey, fiend, or undead. Okay. So, all right. So around the two that are in plate, so that would be Petrora Arroway and Rickster Carter. They both get very pronounced crowns of fire. And you suddenly can smell the stench of death on both of them, like a rotting corpse.
Mm-hmm.
Like that sickly sweet, like when a mouse dies in the wall and you get that sickly sweet, almost like sour milk smell.
Intimately familiar.
Yes, but it's like you saw before, where it's not so much that they themselves are a fiend or undead as much as they are their souls are severely tainted by that. So it's not that you have like a demon sitting in front of you or a fiend, but you do there's
someone who has maybe had dalliances with that particular
yes,
group
there's a patina on them, I guess you could say.
One of them, you might call them Knights of Death.
Yes. Not quite. I know where you're going with that, but not.
I would hope so.
Quite.
It's pretty obvious.
With the I'm trying to think, would that show up? I'm really trying to think about this. I don't know that you would see anything on the other ones.
And Fae.
And Fae, yeah. No, you don't pick up. Yeah. Yeah, you're not necessarily. Hang on, let me just make sure. Let me check my notes. No, you don't pick up anything other than it seems like the one that introduced himself is Davgold, and the other Carter, Megain Carter. It's more like you would see that they have spent enough time with the other two that there is an almost like it's the taint has rubbed off on them.
Mhm.
Like it's like secondary, like almost like a secondary, not like quite an infection, but I guess for lack of a better term, for the two, for Laura Lissa Fielderson and Quohan Fielderson, you don't have, there's none of that stickiness. You like it had like they don't have that same like secondhand smoke patina on them the way that the other ones did.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you would definitely pick up on the two in the plate mail that there's definitely there's just something wrong. That's really the only way to describe.
So, the last time we saw a dude in plate mail, we were sharing a dream,
Mm-hmm.
and the dude in plate mail talked about a we and us, and is this plate mail even vaguely similar to his?
It is not. The armor, the plate that you saw on the other one was much simpler. It was a very simple.
You said at the time.
Remind me what I said at the time, because it
You
was.
said it was actually fairly ornate.
Yeah,
Did
the,
I?
the plate was ornate, and so was the mask
Ah, yes.
that was enclosing my grandfather.
Okay, yes. Still no, it does not, because this is all spiky. This is
Right,
all.
right.
This is very like.
But what I'm saying is, it similar colors? Does it look like it could have been modeled on the same base design? Does it look?
Okay, so your
Could it have been
dwarf
over-
sense.
Yeah.
Your dwarf sense about the make of that. Okay, that okay, I can parse that. You would say that the armor that these two are wearing likely came from the same hand, or you'd see enough variations in there that it was the same familial tree of master and apprentice. You know, there's the hallmarks of the master did it this way, and while the apprentice might do it slightly different, you can tell sort of the same way that with martial arts, right? You can see it, even within the monastery, you can tell who was taught which techniques by which teacher, because there's slight variations in the technique that are unique to that teacher. But
Bloody well
you-
knew it.
but you would say that these this armor was made by an entirely different hand than the one from your vision that you saw.
Well, yeah, because I would think time alone would.
But you would even say like this was like almost two different schools of armor manufacture,
Okay.
right? Where this wasn't even like, oh, this apprentice even further down the chain. This was like, nope, this had to have come from a completely different school of thought when it came to the construction and crafting of armor. They different techniques in how were you doing the forge welds? What was the exact mixture of the
And the two ladies,
mm-hmm.
Mancane and Laralissa,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of weaponry do they seem to be carrying? Or armor are they wearing? Or
So they're wearing very it looks like very useful mobile leather armor. Not terribly ornate. It looks like it's built very much for function, for being able to move quickly. And so the one is carrying Magcane, who does seem to be a little bit older. She seems to be maybe late 20s, early 30s. She is, and she's one of the ones that had a bit of like almost that secondhand smoke patina. You can see she has a kukri by her side, which for those of you who don't know what a kukri is, it's a version of a machete.
I can go find mine, but I don't.
The other one, she has it looks as you've seen her like shift her weight, and it's very subtle. She's not really moving that much. You can tell this is someone who's been schooled to sit very, very still. And you can see, but on her one hip, there appears to be some kind of whip. You see like a whip, but you see a glint of metal on the whip here and there. And then you do see that she does have daggers readily available at her.
Laralissa.
And that's Laralissa Filderson. Yes.
It's a band of just the happiest,
So what
most
do you guys do
bright colored clowns ever.
What do you do for fun?
Who are you asking this of?
Just in general.
Just in general. And
like I'm trying to make it very much clear that the business is done and it's like hanging out time. Like I'm no longer on billable hours, should we say?
Okay. So just to back it up for a second. So Thunuk, you cast this spell.
Mm-hmm.
And you get this feedback, and Rickster, the old one, without even turning around, in this voice that sounds like rotten gravel falling down a cliff, says, "You like what you see, cleric?" So Corbin, you ask, what do you all do for fun? And McCain gets this wicked grin on her face. She doesn't answer, but she gets this very predatory grin on her face. Whereas Davgold and Petror are both. They actually have both very pleasant smiles on their face. You're not picking up like on a oh, I'm gonna eat your face look in there. And Davgold says, "Oh well, we're open to just about anything. Do you have any suggestions for what we could do while we're in town?" Idle hands being idle hands and all that.
Yeah, pretty new here myself. I can't help but recommend eating at the truck here, or I heard that there's a bounty on giant spider legs. If you want to go make some easy cash.
Oh, that sounds like great fun. Drenmai, what are you doing? Because you're hiding out around the corner when all this is happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm literally like trying to be the one laying in wait. I'm like basically just like around the side as secretly as I can in all of my small form, just waiting for basically the ball to drop, and I'll be like, I gotta shoot something at some point.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna wait.
We're seeing some rare self-restraint out of Drenmai Gemweaver.
So she's gone from Wilson this way to Wilson this way, but like
just this head just comes out from the side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm being as covert as I possibly can be.
Yeah. So he's like, oh yeah, okay, we're up for fun. Do you know of anything? Blah blah blah. Okay. Oh yeah, food truck. Let's go hunt. Let's go look for spider legs. That sounds like fun.
And with that, with the fact that Hugon and that are outside, I'll just sort of smile to them and be like, well, thank you for your time, and kind of step back inside, because we've been talking out here for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
And Tosspot and his friend haven't come out yet, so I'm going to kind of pop back inside, really.
Okay.
Wasn't Hooded Figure? Where did Hooded Figure guy go?
He's
He stood
there.
Okay,
He's
Yeah.
and that's who the arrow was pointed at, right?
Davgold
Yeah.
Dryadson.
Davgold Dryadson.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure as hell not taking everybody on at once. As much as I would love to.
He
Where are you
wants to-
going?
Yeah.
I'm not
I'm
doing
go-
a Tiger NATO.
I'm going to pick a fight.
I'm not doing a Tiger NATO.
I'm gonna go pick a fight.
Looks like we didn't get dressed up for nothing.
I
Dren puts on like a blue smear.
I am probably
Across the
going to just stay
Don't
with-
ask where she got it.
If I'm out here unattended, bad things are going to happen. So
Well, Fennec's
So-
there.
Huh?
Fennec's out
Fennec
there.
is not going to be able to convince me to stop in the way that Corbin will.
So okay, so you guys step inside. Now the entire time that yes, that's it. No. So Corbin and Hugon, the entire time you were out there, you did feel like it felt like this ocean of dread just washing past you the
Mhm.
entire time. So you were aware that it was never affecting you. It was never
Mhm.
like, It was more like an awareness around you that there was something
Mhm.
emanating, something that had like this oil slick, sickly feeling around your soul, but was never able to touch it. It was just able to just slide
Mhm.
right past. So you go back inside, and Lord Kyre is still in there with with Stenzlin Tomasi, and Kai is just, he's sipping at a coffee and just, whiling away the time. He's not in any rush to be anywhere, to go anywhere. And Stenzlin Tomasi is just sitting there quietly, like hands folded in his lap, just waiting for he's waiting for Kai to finish up his coffee so they can go. He obviously doesn't have leave to go on his own.
Mhm.
So you guys go inside. Funnick, now that you have this information about the crew, what are you going to do here?
Looks very torn because that guy was kind of well in his range of this is bad, must be gotten rid of, but at the same time, no one else feels that way apparently. So he's trying to exercise the better part of valor, I suppose, or not valor, common
Discretion.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that too.
discretion,
Restraint.
restraint, common sense. Yeah, discretion. I guess he will speak with the gentleman with the rotten gravel voice,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to ask him, what happened to your voice? Do you want me to? I could do something for that. I mean, I can make a tea, or I can like lozenge. You want a lozenge or a tea?
Lozenge.
I mean, I know some prayers that can help with that.
Oh my
And-
god, man.
His head just turns slowly, and
Body doesn't. But his head
not the body, just the head, and he like looks up at you, and there is like zero expression on his face. You can't pick up whether it is like his face is carved out of granite.
Thunic is actually like genuinely concerned. Like he's like, this guy seems bad, but he sounds like he's not well.
and Petror just says, that's just, he's old. That's just how he sounds.
He's old and crotchety, so he's like, "Get off my lawn."
And you can see that, but there's a certain amount of amusement in Petror's voice as to you asking about Rickster's voice. So he's just like, oh, just I wouldn't even worry about it. So you have this arrow up your sleeve, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So did you like get up and go close to talk to Rickster?
Yes, as I'm sort of walking towards the door.
Okay. Do a dexterity check.
Let's see. Checks are roll plus bonus, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, well, more like minus bonus. 16.
16. So as you are walking, you feel the arrow kind of jump a little bit. Almost like it's trying to like reorient itself to point back towards Davgold.
Mhm.
And as you do that, it starts to slip out, but you're able to quick grab it and keep it from falling out of your sleeve.
Okay.
But Davgold sees that. He sees this little motion with your hand. You were like, no one else noticed. But you can see Davgold looks at your arm, looks at you, and he bolts.
That's not good.
And with that, we will finish our game for this evening.
No, I like it though. This is a good spot. That was some awesome espionage stuff. That was everything about that was amazing.
So, and we will carry the retcon coins over into next week because I feel like this part of the story is not done yet, and there's going to be need for this. So we're going to keep the retcon stuff. But for those of you watching at home, you've done it again. You've wasted another perfectly good 3 hours of your life watching our little group play D&D. So we'd like to thank our legal consultants, Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe, and of course, all of you who tune in to watch our silly game each week. You can watch new episodes of TMX every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern here on Twitch, or whenever you want to at the Eat, Drink, Roll Twitch channel or on YouTube. You can also subscribe to the podcast through your favorite syndication service, including Google Podcast and iTunes. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Eat, Drink, Roll. Team X is a production of Eat, Drink, Roll and filmed before a live internet audience. We will be back next Sunday with an all-new episode. Stay tuned for the Table Talk.
Within the core of the forest can be heard and hear a spirit song sealed from long before. Now awaken to devour the essence of our soul.